I love this trailer. It is such an honor to be able to have the Knight Rider trailer right here to touch, to work on, to restore back to its 1980s glory. And for me, one of the pieces of this trailer as a kid that was always kind of a mystery to me were the belly boxes. These boxes were seen on the show on the outside, but we never saw the doors opened. And it wasn't until I actually had the trailer in front of me that I was able to finally open those doors. I know it's stupid, but it's like, you know, you have that mystery. What was in there? I still don't know what was in there, but I know what it looked like now. But today, what we're gonna do is, you may remember, especially if you've been following the series on the restoration of the Semi, when we got the trailer, the original belly boxes were there, along with a whole other set of belly boxes that were not original to the show. We got all those cut out, exposed just the original belly boxes again, but they had been modified a little bit since the show ended. There were the original cam locks were removed and replaced with these larger rectangular locks. So we got those pulled out, we got the holes filled back in, but now we need to reinstall some cam locks. Now, the bad thing about the belly boxes are we never get a really good look at them in the show, like an up close look. We can see that the center of each one of them had a handle, a pull handle on it, kind of like you'd find on a kitchen drawer or a cabinet. And we can see that there were 3 cam locks on these doors, but you never get close enough to really see exactly the style of the cam locks. You know, at one point we talked about they were quarter turn handles. At one point we thought maybe they were key locks. But we're at the point where we kind of have to make a decision, right? Because we're trying to get all of the body work done that's needed done on the trailer so it can get painted. And one of those pieces of body work would be to re-drill holes where the cam locks were. So we decided to go with key locks for the cams, simply because we want to be able to put stuff in these and secure them. So it made sense. That's probably what they did on the show as well. I can't imagine they'd make it so anyone could just get into the belly boxes. But you never know, that was Hollywood. So today, I'm gonna bring you along with me as we measure out, drill out some holes, and get the key cam locks reinstalled for the first time, probably since 1986. All right, so quickly before we start our work, let me show you the current status of the belly boxes, or at least some of them here. So this is what I was talking about. You might remember there were rectangular holes here, and there were locks that owner after Universal put in. So I had those patched up, spot primed. They still need a tiny bit of body work to make them super smooth, but for the most part, they're cleared out. Now, the original cam locks that were on these doors were actually, the holes were where this rectangular hole was cut out. So there's no evidence of the original hole because it was removed whenever they made these bigger holes, if that makes any sense. The original pull handle holes, though, as you may recall, were still there. They were just filled in with body fillers, so we drilled those back out. So they're ready to go. There were actually 3 cam locks. You'd think there'd be 6, you know, like 1 on each corner, but they didn't do it that way. You put 1 here, and then 1 on the third belly box off to the side. So technically, even with these locked, you could kind of pull this side out and it would flex a little bit, but we're not going to put in extra ones because that's not the way it was on the show. So what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of measure and drill and get these cam locks put back in. So the cam lock will come in here. Actually, I have one right here. So these are what we're going to install. So we're going to install them in the door, and then when you turn the key, they'll lock and be secured by this metal here to hold them closed. So we've got 3 of these, so let's get going. All right, so I'm down here on the ground, and we know from screenshots that there was a cam lock here and one here, and both of these would wrap around this metal piece right here to secure it so the doors can't open. So the first thing we need to do is just take some measurements here. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw on the back side of this door just a little bit so I can see how much of this door overlaps with the metal on the frame of the belly box. So I'm going to do that with this one and with this one. So what I'll do is I'm just going to hold this up and I'm just going to kind of feel back here, and we're just going to do a little bit on the corner there, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. There we go. So, and that worked beautifully. And you know what's interesting? My lines that I just drew line up exactly with this cutout here. That's very interesting. All right, so now I'm going to take some measurements and see just how far in we are. So we are, what is that? Looks like 1 5/16. Is that right? That seems kind of, let me see where that door lands. It lands at the bottom there. I think that's right. Let me get a better, that line was kind of hard to see and I want to make sure I get this perfect. There we go. There we go. That's what I needed. So, yeah, so it's more like 1 3/8. No, it is 1 5/16. All right. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to do 1 5/16. 1. And the nice thing is I can draw in pencil on this because it's all going to get painted. So now's the time to do this. So, all right, so there's our bottom. Now let's do our side here. So this is 1 1/4 over. So we'll do 1 1/4 and 1 1/4. There. So now we have our lines drawn on here. Let me bring you in a little bit closer so you can kind of see. It's always good to get some exercise. So I think I'm going to do the next part of this video just walking around the semi. So a lot of you guys are familiar with our Patreon community. We've got a number of you who have already joined over the last couple years. And with our Patreon community, you get exclusive behind the scenes photos and videos that no one else sees. You get early access to all of our videos. And what's really neat is there's 5 tiers of support in our Patreon community. And our top 2 tiers are flag agents and our Knight Foundation trustees. Now, whenever you become a flag agent or a Knight Foundation trustee, you get your name announced by me in a video, which we're going to do in a minute, and any questions you have about Knight Rider. As long as you're a Patreon supporter at the flag agent or Knight trustee level, you get those questions answered by me in a video, which we'll also do. If you're a Knight Foundation trustee, you get a special dedicated thank you screen at the end of each one of our videos. All right, so today what I want to do, as I'm circling the semi-trailer, as you can see, is go over our latest flag agent and trustees and answer one of the questions we had submitted. So we'll start with our latest Knight Foundation trustees. We've got Vincent Bailey. Vincent Bailey, thank you so much for joining. We definitely appreciate it. And also wanted to thank Vincent personally. He sent me a flag agent kit, which you can buy online, which we'll be doing a review of here soon. Really, really neat. Thank you so much, Vincent. Jeremy Stidham. Jeremy, thank you for your increased support as a Knight Foundation trustee. We've got Rich Koval. Rich, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Dean Hansen. Dean, thank you so much. Check out his photo on the dedicated screen at the end. He's got a beautiful horse. I'm assuming that's your horse, Dean. And finally, Lee Molyneux II. Lee, greatly appreciate your support. We're so glad you are here. And also we've got a new flag agent, Greg Whitman. Greg, again, thanks so much for being here. All right, so now we've got one question that has come in since the last time we did this, and that's from Joe and Linda Webb. Hi, Joe and Linda. What was your experience like buying an original kit from the show? What kind of emotions did you experience? Which car did you get first? That's the first part of the question. So, what were the emotions? I mean, disbelief, I guess, excitement, honor. It was an honor to, I don't know, I guess honor's not a emotion, whatever. But it was absolutely amazing. And sometimes, you know, it's hard when you have all of this stuff like the semi and kit here. Sometimes it's hard not to take it for granted. Like, oh, it's just here, you know. And I try to always remember just how special this is and how much this meant to me as a kid, even now. So sometimes I'll come out here and I'll just stare at the trailer and I'll be like, wow, I can't believe it's here. And same with kit, so it's really neat. Which car did we get first? We got the one in the Peterson we got first. That one came about a year before the other one that I have here. Another question, are any stars from the show involved or supportive in what the Knight Rider historians are doing? Yes, I mean, they're definitely supportive. Catherine Hickland, Rebecca Holden, especially Dawn Peak, huge supporters of what we're doing. And also a number of people that worked on the show behind the scenes that we've become good friends with, that we keep in contact with. So they've all been hugely supportive. They probably think we're a little bit crazy, which we are, but that's okay. But I think part of them really likes the fact that we're, you know, carrying on this legacy and preserving stuff like the semi and kit and all these props. And finally, have you had any contact with Hasselhoff aside from Good Morning America? No, it was 45 seconds with Good Morning America and that was it. But that's okay. Hopefully in the future, we will have more contact with him, and who knows, maybe we can reunite him with the semi. All right, guys, so I hope you like this. Again, if you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description below and one in the corner of this video right now. Check it out. Okay, so we've got more work we've got to do on the belly boxes, so let's get back to it. I think what we're gonna do next is figure out where we want this cam lock. It's probably gonna be like right about here, because we know the original hole for where the cam locks were has to be where this patch panel is, because all the area around it is the original 1/4 inch aluminum plate. There's no other filled in holes. So this has to go like right there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna roughly put a dot right there, and I want to take some measurements here. So we're going to do, let's see here. So like, I think that's where I want it. Let me look again. Actually, I think I want it in just a tiny bit further so it overlaps just a little bit more. Maybe like right there. So that's going to be at 2 5/16, right about there. Well, we're going to come down just a little bit. Because remember, we got to keep it inside of this patch panel. Because if I drill outside, then that's definitely not right. Yeah, so I think like right there is probably exactly where we want it. Right, did that hole. Now what I want to do before I drill out this hole, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do the same thing over here and see if I can match this up over here, and if that makes sense. So, but see this one, this is interesting. See this door, see this is going to be different because this door I can see overlaps with this metal much more than this does. So for example, this is, what is this? 5/8. 5/8, remember that guys, 5/8, 1.5. So over here, you'll be able to see this here in a minute. 5/8, 5/8, and 1.5. This is interesting, and this actually goes to show you the studio, you know, because these boxes were built by the studio, I'm pretty sure. They're not official Dorsey, I can tell you that. So these were kind of just slapped together. But look at that. Let me bring you in super close so you can see. So you see the difference here? See, look how much of a gap there is here and there. So that's pretty much actually where that panel is, or where that beam is on the underside here. So you can see it's a little bit different. So we're probably gonna have to compensate for that, I'd say. So for this other cam lock, I want to make sure they're even. So what was this? So this one we had at like 2 1/8. So does 2 1/8 make sense here? Let's see. 2 1/8. I think it's going to. And see, this is going to be interesting because we can't have the cam lock. If we have this cam lock over here this far back, it's not going to catch. So these have to be off center. They have to be. I mean, you know, because the way these doors are designed, this one's going to go in a lot closer. So maybe what we can do, let's do this. Let's measure from this line. So this is 3/4 in and 3/4 in. Oh, from this line, 3/4 in. From this line, is that right? Right here. All right, so this right here is where we need to do that second one. Got it? Good. All right. So what we're gonna do now is double checking. Yeah, that's gonna work out nicely. Yeah. All right, so I've got a hole drill specifically for aluminum, 3/4 inch, which is what these cam locks require. Let's go ahead and get these drilled out. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of cutting oil on here. Line this up. And here we go. Okay, it's the pilot hole. A bit more. Clear out some of my debris there. Almost through. A little bit more. There we go. So that's one. I'll have to clean that hole up a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me clean out. Let's see what I got here. This is full of. Stand by. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get this one cut out next. Cutting oil. Alrighty. Oh, now for the hole. 3/4 inch hole. There we go. Got our holes for the cam locks drilled. So now, let me go get some rags and we'll clean this up. All right, these cleaned up a little bit. All right, so the next step is getting these cam locks how we want them. So we want the key to be this way. So right now, see, that's not right, because that's just going to be locked to locked. So we need to be able to turn it. We need this to be this way when it's like this. So let me get this. So yeah, we need to turn it to the left 1 notch. All right, so now we got this. That's how we want it. All right, so let's try and install that and see what happens. That's set where it needs to be. Okay, where's my, we'll get that tightened up here. So now the real question is, are we gonna have to adjust? I think we're gonna have to adjust. I had to bend these just a little bit. I think I gotta bend this one down just a hair. Maybe a little more. There we go. And there we go. Got one installed. We'll just have to install this one and the other one. All right, and just like that, we got our cam locks in. Now the question is, even though we don't see it in the show, do we install cam locks on both ends of the door? I don't know. Because see, on that side's locked, that doesn't really flex too much. You really couldn't get anything out of there unless you got a pry bar. What do you guys think? Should we install cam locks on the opposite sides too? Or just leave it the way the show had it? I kind of just want to leave it the way the show had it, but maybe provide a little extra security. And technically, we're not cutting into anything original because the previous owner had locks here as well. So what do you guys think? Do we put a lock there, there, and there, or just leave it the way the show had it? 2 there, 1 there. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. All right, that's what we got today on the belly boxes. Hope you enjoyed it. The weather's warming up here, which means we're gonna have more work on the semi very soon. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon.
Hello friends, it's me, Kit. When I'm not out fighting crime, I like to follow my friends at knightriderhistorians.com. Check it out.